service and getting paid for it. So, in our series of how to build a business without any down payment or money or investment, this is again a very, very crucial point to make your business successful and keep the growth on and keep it exponential in terms of growth. Why is building a brand so important for a startup? Why it is because ultimately it is that which is going to give you revenues, right? How strong you build your brand and how much people start to talk about your service or the work that you're doing or about you. And that will bring you more and more business through word of mouth, as well as people will want to write about you. So you might get some free media publicity. People will want to blog about you. So, and your social media channel will become more and more robust with more engagements, with more people liking your page and then sharing it. And that's how it gets viral and you become big. So what are the elements? Let's talk about building your own brand. Now, the one of the most important things about building your own brand is that you have to understand your product and decide how you want to position it. So I will again start with an example of a service-based business that I have personally done, and I sold the company. It was a dance fitness company that I ran, I created, and where what was the service I was providing? Dance instruction classes. And that was entirely I was delivering on my instructors. So there was no product involved, but there was teaching involved in it. Now, how did I make the brand so powerful that somebody found value in buying it? And I was able to sell the brand because I had no assets, I had no studios that I sold. I sold the copyright and the brand rights when I sold it, right? Because the brand had become so big and so well known around in Valley. Now, how that started was, and I started completely out of garage. So I'm a absolute Silicon Valley starting from a garage kind of a startup story. And it's just that my business was different. It wasn't technology. It was something very creative. And how the journey, how I built the brand was that once I had coined the name, and again, the name resonated with the service I was providing, so people could easily identify from the name what it could be all about, right? And I started my dance classes. Of course, one of the most important factors in being able to promote your work or your business or your growth is the quality of service that you provide. So fortunately for me, I'm a very, very passionate dancer, and I think I was gifted with the art of being able to teach well. So all the students who came to me, so I had adults classes and I had classes for kids. I have never advertised in my entire time when I had the company before I sold it. Never really done any paid publicity, but people spoke about my classes because they enjoyed my classes. They loved the atmosphere. They loved the community that had got built around the classes. And a lot of them told me that they were motivated when they saw me dance because they saw my passion for dancing and teaching when they saw me teach. So I wasn't trying to push a product or a service very hard. It just came naturally to me and people saw it all around me, right? And because they saw that I was teaching with so much passion, they enjoyed learning and they henceforth spoke a lot about my classes that, oh my God, I'm doing these really fun classes. I've lost a lot of inches because I do this. I have made so many new friends because I am doing these classes. And then they would go and talk about my classes in social gatherings, at clubs, when they met their colleagues, at home with friends. And then those friends would say, oh, let me also know about these classes. Maybe even I'll come. And that's how the word spread. And from a garage startup, it actually, kind of grew into a 14 studio across city startup. And then we did a couple of franchises. So what I'm saying is that and what was the brand and how did the brand get built? By word of mouth, by people coming to know about the class. I had a website, so people had a placeholder where my brand was placed and they could and read and watch a few videos, read about the classes, read about me. And that makes the whole business seem big, larger than life, and they kind of feel, oh, this is cool, let me also sign up. I used a lot of technology enablement to be able to foster my growth. And again, it didn't cost much, right? There are a lot of tools out there that you can create your own 5-page website and start from there. Like I said, I didn't pay for any advertising to promote my business, but everything came from word of mouth. So that was very credible. I would say free advertising for me, which got people hooked on because I wasn't trying to tell people, hey, I'm good. But people who had experienced my class were going and talking about it. So that made the product or the service even more credible and people came for it. The third thing that really worked out for me was because I was doing stuff that people were really enjoying. I was doing stuff that was something different. You know, at that time, there weren't any Bollywood formalized dance studios in the area. So there were a lot of media publications and journalists who became very interested to know what exactly is this girl doing, where everyone's raving about it. There are so many people who are going to her classes, and people vouch about having toned up, losing weight, feeling happier. So let's go and ask her. So I got a lot of free media publicity that really aided in not just popularizing the classes, but also the brand building. And the other thing that also I think contributed largely was that I capitalized a lot on corporates. So most of my students who came there because I did adult classes were, you know, techpreneurs or employees who were working all around Silicon Valley. So whether it was Google, Facebook, Yahoo, Facebook wasn't there then, sorry, Google, Yahoo, there was Sun Microsystems, there was Oracle, and all of these places, you know, a lot of the employees were coming to me. Stanford University was next door from where I was. And people who came to me, whether it was students or faculty, they liked my classes. And they thought that if we take this to our corporates or we ask our HR to include this as a part of our regular wellness, we won't have to travel so much to do the classes, but she can come there. And that way, more of us can benefit, you know, during lunchtime, we can do these classes. And as a result, they took me there. I didn't have to do much effort, but my work got me those assignments where I was actually teaching in-house at the gym for fitness, only open to Cisco employees or whatever it was. And that, of course, got me more students. Also doing a lot of extra work around the community. So I had partnered with a lot of community organizations, a lot of people who wanted to do fundraising and wanted a medium which could help them raise funds. I would do free workshops for them. But that gave me a bigger audience who got to know about me from different cultures, from different cities, and all of that proceeds went for a good cause. So that felt good to me, but it also enhanced the fact that I wasn't just doing everything because it was for my self-interest and profit, but also I used my skill sets to give back, right? And that has always, of course, been my motto. So I think if you can add a CSR element right from the beginning to your brand or your growth, that can really, really help, not just for your own personal feeling good factor, but also I think every brand, if it has an element of how we are helping and supporting the society, it can create a much better perception of our brand and our work. And I think that's very important, and that's something you should consider. So I think all of these points can help you to create a very strong brand. And again, remember, when you are in a service-based business, people are looking at you. When I or my instructors go and teach a class, we are representing the brand, right? So how I groom, how I speak, how courteous I am, how friendly I am, how I treat my customers will ultimately decide whether people want to stay with me and talk about me and be loyal to my brand or not. So please remember one thing, you are your brand. And every move that you make, every action that you do, how it's going to impact others in public is going to affect your brand. So you have to be very, very responsible about how you conduct yourself, how humble you are towards other people, how humble you are with your service. And you know, I had T-shirts which had my brand printed on it. So when I would go for my dance classes, a lot of times I would wear my own branded T-shirts. So that's again brand recall, getting seeded into my customers. I then later started getting these really nice T-shirts made and encouraging my students to buy them, and then they would wear it, and then more people would talk about my class and they'd say, oh, I went to go to these dance classes and they're really nice. And then we started doing a lot of these flash mobs and shows which weren't directly giving me revenue, but they were helping to again get the message across and the brand stronger across the communities. So, very important point. Please remember that you are representing your brand. So, please be very responsible with yourself once you start to do a service based business and position yourself very well. That might mean changing the way you represent yourself, your image, your clothing, the way you talk, how responsible and how open you are to things, and inculcating the same things in your employees. When they start to represent you and the brand. And also to keep in mind all these factors that I've talked about that can help you developing and growing and creating a very strong your service and whatever you're offering. So I hope this will help you a lot in if you are a photographer, or if you're a blogger, if you are a dance instructor or a doctor. All of these points are very valid for you when you start your own business and you're trying to create your own brand, which can make your household name. So I hope you will practice these and you will keep these into consideration when you start to take steps towards building your brand. Tomorrow we are going to talk about the importance of social media, the various channels that we have on social media through which you can start creating a brand and promoting your business and how it can help you move forward. So do tune in tomorrow to the webinar and please do share, subscribe to the channel, share it with as many people as you can to support our cause and to support me. And please press and click, turn on the notifications button so you can get as many people, as many feeds as you can whenever we upload a new video, which may be of interest. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay indoors, and God bless us all.